plus 5 for x values less than negative 2. The second part is negative 2x minus 1 for x values greater than or equal to negative 2. So again, in your table, just to be able to help you plot a couple points, you would look at negative 4, negative 3, negative 2. These points all make this inequality true, so you'd plug them in here. So negative 4 plus 5 is 1. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2. And negative 2 plus 5 is 3. This point here is going to be an open circle because it's not equal to. So on your graph, you would go to negative 4, 1, negative 3, 2, negative 2, 3. At negative 2, 3, you have an open circle. And then you connect those 3 points and extend the line down. For the second part of the function, it picks up at negative 2 and then goes to negative 1 and 0 and beyond. So again, 0 is always the easiest because it gives you the y-intercept. So that's the point negative 1. Plugging in negative 1, you get negative 2 times negative 1, which is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. And then negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. This point is closed. So you can see that these two graphs match up. So the closed circle fills in the open circle. And then that line continues down. So is this a function? The answer is yes, because for every x, there's only one y because this was open, then closed. And then you just fill back in these by figuring out where they plug in. And then something like negative 4, we already know is 1. Negative 2, you have to know which one is closed. So in this case, it's 3. And then 3 would plug in here. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7. So this is just testing your ability as to where it plugs in. Domain would be all reals. Range would be y's less than or equal to 3. Okay, we seem to be struggling with the writing. So you can clearly see here you have two different lines. They meet at the origin. So what you would do is calculate the slope of the first line and say, okay, that's x values. And in this case, it doesn't matter since they meet at the same point. You want to make it a function, so you're only going to include the 0 with one of them. My slope here is up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. So for x values less than or equal to 0, it would be x. And then on this side, it's up 2 over 1. So my slope would be 2x. The y-intercept is 0 because both graphs go through the origin. Yes?
Why did you say again why only one of them can be like less than or equal to?
Since they meet at the same point, it's like the first example we did here. The equal to only goes with 1 in order to maintain it as a function. So since I told you to graph the piecewise functions, we're going to leave one open and one closed.
Does it matter which one we use?
Nope. Okay, and then similarly in number 8, we have two functions. We have our left and our right function. So here, this graph goes through the point at negative 2, 4. It also goes through all my other corners. So we could see that this slope is up one, right one. If that pattern were to continue, it would go up one, right one at 5, up one, right one at 6. So its y-intercept would be 6. If you wanted to calculate that out, you could pick any of these points, find your slope, and plug into point slope form. So again, I could have said y minus 4 equals 1x minus a minus 2 and solved for y to get my y equals x plus 6 to get that equation. So that means that this is x plus 6 for x values less than, it's open, so not equal to, -2. The second part starts at -2 and goes up. So that's x values greater than or equal to -2. And this looks like it's a constant line that is straight and goes through -1/2. So I have this worksheet. I want you to do those first graphs 1 to 6, and then these 7 through 10, and stop. So 10 on paper. And then what I did was, some of you were really saying you were confused, so I opened up the delta map. I opened up a delta map strictly because it gives you instantaneous feedback and has videos if you're really struggling. The delta map is not due until Monday class time. So initially when I made it a couple weeks ago, I made it due tomorrow, changing it for Monday. So you have time to continue working on that. Tomorrow we're going to review 2.5 and 2.6. And then because I want to make sure before we move into 2.7, 2.8, we're going to take a quiz on 2.5 and 2.6. So we're going to review today, tomorrow, Monday, quiz Tuesday. We're not learning anything new. Everything we're going to do from here on out is continuing to understand this. Okay? Let me hit stop.